Welcome to the Fit Diet Podcast, where we'll learn the processes and habits of healthy eating, exercise, and lifestyle. Food for fitness, if you will, with the founders of MindMuscleMemory.com, Miles Betcha and Greg Rando. Miles' expertise with programs and coaching have led him to training thousands of clients all over for the last 2 decades with enormous success, and he's dedicated himself to transforming the course of fitness and health for many. And his partner Greg has his own unique skill set as a professional in the world of bodybuilding, with the ability to teach and inspire all he comes in contact with. Join me now as we discover the secrets of sticky fibers and proper habits and how to implement the mind-muscle memory lifestyle. Welcome in and thanks for listening. And welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fit Diet Podcast, brought to you as always by M3 and the MindMuscleMemory.com fellas who created the program, Miles Betcha and Greg Rando. Fellas, how are you today? Counting blessings, being grateful, enjoying the ride, getting along well?
Absolutely, Bobby. All that. Grateful to just be able to do what we love here and help people get the benefits of good health.
Amen.
So thanks for working with us, Bobby.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Certainly, very, very true. Very true. That's speaking the truth right there.
You know, I've come to the conclusion, Miles, Greg, is that we can control what we can control. And in the general climate of everything right now, with so many things out of our control, diet is one of the things that is certainly within our realm and our wheelhouse. And you know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm all about taking control of what I can at this point. Would you agree?
That's a great place to be. Great place to start, Bobby. It's just try to, like you said, control what's between our ears and be true to our thoughts and feelings here.
Well, a little bird told me that there are 3 reasons to start adding dietary fiber to our diet today. And this little bird said, hey, if you want to control what's going on between your ears, start here. And I said, okay, I'll run it past the fellas. So fellas, 3 reasons to start adding dietary fiber to our diet today. It says many individuals don't realize how much their body needs dietary fiber and how it'll help them reach their goals and sustain an overall healthy diet. And it looks to me, if I'm reading properly and taking in what you guys have been teaching and preaching these last many weeks, there's a couple different kind of diets. Who wants to start off and share with everyone exactly, just refresh their memories as to fibers and what kind of dietary fibers they are, the 2 types?
Go ahead, Miles.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I'll chime in for a minute. What is dietary fiber? And it's really that plant fiber that comes in these 2 types of forms, and it's the roughage or insoluble fiber, and then the soluble or gelatinous fiber that we've talked about, or sticky fiber, which is so necessary for our digestive health, and in so many ways as well. I mean, we could probably go on for hours just talking about what kinds of, we will go on for hours talking about the different things that happens, but that with these fruits, vegetables, grains, beans and legumes, and nuts and seeds, all these plant-based foods, they have dietary fiber in them, and that's what constitutes their being, and we don't get them when we have a soft drink and most things in a box. So all the foods that come in a box, people have the easy, quick meals always come in a box, but you can't get a salad in a box, or you can't get a fresh quart of strawberries in a box. And the fresh quart of strawberries is so healthy for you with so much of the fiber that's in it, because it has both types of fiber in it, and it's just unbelievable that we live in a world where for somebody to get a salad, they really have to think about, or get a quart of strawberries, they really have to plan for it and have it under their control, as you said, to go get it, so that they get both types of fiber, they get enough dietary fiber, in their meal, and the requirements, of course, so that we get in the realm of 25 to 35, both men and women, maybe depending on your size, but 25 to 35 grams of this dietary fiber per day. So hope that starts it off okay.
What's funny is that convenience, right? That seems to be a high price to pay for convenience. You said that you got to make a plan. You've got to get out and you've got to really, sit down. And that's something we should be discussing too as well. Like, maybe suggestion to folks, because I know it's this way with my wife here at the home front. She's going to the grocery market tonight, and she'll map out she'll have a game plan. She'll go in there with a list, and she'll come out and with those certain things, and there's a plan. Now, conversely, I know a lot of folks are up against it, right? Family obligations, work time is of the essence, or it's a premium, and the convenience reverts them and us and the folks that partake. If you go to the boxed meals or you go to the things that aren't, and boy, that's a high price to pay because we're losing the benefits, Greg, right? Of the quart of strawberries in the salad.
Yeah, we are losing the quality in our food. You can look at a quart of strawberries, or you could look at a pint of, strawberry juice or any kind of juice. And, what's happening, we're losing a lot of the vital phytonutrients, those valuable plant nutrients that are lost during the processes that these foods undergo, whether they're jarred or canned or boxed. We're losing the quality of their food through the processing, and we're left with food that a strawberry, as Miles spoke of. We have to plan for it because we get a quart of strawberries. We have to make sure we incorporate them quickly in our diet before they spoil. You get a pint of juice, of mostly any kind of juice nowadays, and it's just loaded with sugar, or it could be anything that's anything. Say let's use a Twinkie for a bad example. A Twinkie, which has no whole food properties to it. Yeah. It's essentially processed food full of sugar, not unlike sugar in strawberry juice. And those preservatives and those nutrients are going to preserve that Twinkie for weeks and months and years and even decades in some cases. So we lose a lot of the quality of the quality nutrients when we process foods and package them like that.
Now, there's the fiber is vital for our health, and each different type of fiber, from my understanding, serves a different purpose. Who can speak to that, and what fibers serve what and why, and what's the benefit regarding them?
Sure. I mean, we've touched on with the Fit Diet podcast some of the attributes of the sticky fiber or the soluble fiber, really having to maintain satiety, maintaining feeling of fullness, because of that gelatinous fiber. If you have it with your meal, enough of it, it's the right amount, it'll gel everything up to have it digest smoothly, slowly, and give you a full feeling longer. Whereas the insoluble is really great because it has to clean down the walls of our digestive system, so that in between meals, if we clean properly that with that insoluble fiber that we ate for the meal, then we'll be left with this healthy lining of our digestive system waiting for the next meal to come through. So those are some of the things I would think about. What about you, Greg? Would you like to add to that? So?
Yeah. Oh, those are extremely great benefits, and some of the usually with our clients, some of the initial benefits that I see with people is we start to incorporate and build fiber-based meals, plant-based meals, including fiber. And we build those meals and we add to those meals throughout the day. And usually, the majority of time, the first benefit or the first first thing people realize is improved digestion, less bloating, improved digestion, and more bowel movements. And I was just speaking to a guy in the gym, another trainer in the gym. I said, "How you doing today?" He said, "Oh, just dying. I just have no energy, Greg, and my workouts are terrible, and I just have such low energy." And I just said, "I have one word for you, and it's fiber." And he said, "Fiber? What? Because I don't eat fruits and vegetables. I don't like fruits and vegetables." And we went over his diet just real quickly, and it was easy to see that there was very little fiber in his diet. And as you just stated, Miles, if we don't have the sticky fiber to promote long-lasting digestion and good absorption of food, and we don't have the insoluble fiber for cleansing of that digestive tract and the proper digestive function, it's going to be hard to absorb our food if our digestive tract is cluttered and not cleaned, and digestion isn't functioning properly. But when all that does take place, then we're able to absorb those nutrients from our foods. We're able to gain long-lasting energy, and we're able to reduce cravings. So there's just a lot of benefits. A lot of benefits in terms of nutrition, the foods that come along with the fiber, and then health benefits as well.
Well, I think that the puppy barking in the background agrees with you wholeheartedly, Greg. I don't think he could agree with you anymore.
He says more fiber. He's saying over there.
He's like, "Give me some milk bones with fiber." It's funny. On the Fit Diet podcast here, brought to us by M3 and MindMuscleMemory.com. Repetition and reminders, that's the key to learning, fellas. And I think that we can't get enough of the basics, and fiber and sticky fibers, and their benefits are just that. They're a reminder. And here's the alternative, right? Or the contrary to that is we see it on TV. You turn on the box, right? And in between everything, you're watching Jeopardy, and in comes the treatment for the symptoms. Do you have gas? Do you have heartburn? Do you have all these conditions? Well, we have the pill for you. Never mind that the side effects could cause everything from impaired armpit sweating to all the way up to death. So I just think, not for nothing, it would behoove folks to pay a visit to mindmusclememory.com. Take a look at some of these articles. Get into the preventive mode. We don't want to have excessive sweaty armpits, and we certainly don't want to die. And who likes gas, heartburn, and other conditions? So by reminding people of these benefits, these dietary plans that you all through your counseling and coaching programs offer and afford people, I just think it's a wonderful benefit, guys. I'm happy to be a part of it, and keep preaching, man. Keep preaching.
Well, thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
thanks again, Bobby. Look forward to it.
Absolutely. So I'm a male. As you can tell by my deep voice, and I want to embark on a fibrous diet. And how many? I don't know. What is it? How do you measure it by grams? Like how many grams would the average male, say 180 pounds, 5'10", need to ingest to start realizing the benefit? And the same with a woman, middle-aged, 40, 50 years old. Is there a general rule of thumb, guys, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's go ahead, Greg. Yeah.
The standard daily requirements here in America are for an average male, upwards around 35 to 38 grams daily, and that of a female about 25 grams daily. If you're over 50, I think that number can be reduced to around 21 grams, and still maintain an overall healthy diet.
And what does that look like? What does that look like for the layperson? What does 25 grams as an average male? Is that like 2 helpings of green beans, a serving of asparagus? How would that look? How would that look?
What'd you say, Miles?
Wow, that's a great question. And that's what, like Greg was mentioning, when we work with clients and help others, guide others to really put this together, there comes a point where they're looking at their plate, and they're, when you look at your average size plate, not talking jumbo size plate, but it's average size plate, that there's really going to have these different food piles of food. I mean, you're talking about a pile of, say, broccoli, a pile of a handful of carrots, maybe a handful of brown rice, or a corn is a grain. You could put in a handful of corn. So I mean, you're looking at a whole bunch of food, and that's just one meal that might give you say 6 or 8 grams of dietary fiber. So you want to have, in words of that, 8 or so grams of dietary fiber 3 times a day in order to get to that level.
Right.
So the next meal it might be a handful, 22 almonds, a serving of almonds,
right,
with a cup and a half of strawberries. So you're talking, as you add these things up, you're talking a very it takes a large volume of food, and that's, I guess, what people really have sometimes a shock with, is they're like, well, that's too much food. And you're like, well, but the calories on this food is very low, right? This is a high quality food, like Greg said, it's been grown from the earth. The high quality, it's a low calorie, but yes, it has a lot of fiber, so it has a lot of volume to it. And that's what is in a way, people are just, it's like a shocking thing. Like, that's how much food I'm going to eat. I might not be able to eat that much food. And you say, well, you're going to have to, you're going to have to play the game here. This is a psychology game, because if you think that's a lot of food and it makes you feel full, but yet it's such low in calories compared to what you've been eating, you've been obviously, putting on all this weight, then that's where we want to go. We want to go with this type of food. And so it's really, it comes down to it. It really is going to look like that plate is going to be filled with, like I said, where's the big salad? Where's the big bowl of broccoli and carrots, and on top of a cup of cooked rice? So maybe you have a 3/4 cup of oatmeal that's with blueberries, and a handful of walnuts on top of that. That's a lot of food.
Yeah.
But it's going to be such low calorie. So that's what it would look like.
Well, that's good to see, because I know that. I'm sorry. I know when you go out to Mr. and Mrs. Tea Kettle and their daughter Teabag, they go to Applebee's. If you look at the average plate of food, not for nothing, fellas, I think it could serve a family of 4, and it's caloric dense, right? It's a lot of food. And the way it seems that we've all been programmed, and it boils down to that, it's a matter of what we've grew up with, what we've come to learn to be as the norm, what goes on between our head, what's acceptable. We seem to feel the need and compelled to eat the whole darn plate. And, when somebody makes the mental decision, they have that mindset, that shift in thinking that says, you know what, this is a runaway train. Let me get my head around it, literally. And they go to the website, mindmusclememory.com. They learn about this. They're going to be playing that psychological game. And but that's something that I think that folks need to be reminded of. Look, yeah, it looks like a lot of food, okay, but it's not as caloric dense. It's got the benefits of not only the energy, but the digestive system is going to be in check and balance, and from every which way. And, you're going to see body composition changes, meaning you're going to lose a dress size before too long. You're going to have lose a notch in your belt if you're a gentleman wearing jeans who wears a belt. So tons of benefits. Absolutely.
This plant-based, fiber-rich diet, it does just so many things, from boosting your metabolism to regulating blood sugar to lowering cholesterol. But boosting your metabolism is something that I notice and my clients notice, right away. Yeah, it's a lot of food, but what happens is if we are able to stack these meals up back to back and over and continue to present the balanced combinations of fiber to our digestive system over and over, what happens is our our digestive system adapts, our metabolism adapts, and our metabolism increases. So what seemed like a lot of food initially is no longer a lot of food anymore. In fact, sometimes, we're then able to increase our calories while eating these high quality plant-based foods. And I've found this going toward competition, starting out, where there'd be a lot of food to get in one day, but quickly the metabolism adapts to that, and then closer to the event, I'm able to eat more food. And the other thing I wanted to say quickly, because this came up yesterday speaking to somebody about fruits, and we all hear it, right? Fruit's bad. I mean, I had a nickel for every time, right?
Yeah.
Fruit, we don't have fruit's bad, So, and we have to remember, fruit is a simple sugar. It's a simple sugar like sugar in a candy bar and like sugar in a Pepsi. But the sugar in fruit is really, it's wrapped, it's contained in a fiber food shell, essentially. So that those sugars have the components that are necessary to allow for assimilation and balance sugar absorption and balance sugar levels and good absorption of those foods. Not to mention the sugar in a raw fruit or slightly cooked vegetable, it's going to have all those other phytonutrients, the vitamins, minerals, the carotenoids, the bioflavonoids, the enzymes, all those things that we don't get in table sugar. So we just have to remember that fruits and vegetables, I was speaking to somebody who just came from Italy. In Italy, in the Mediterranean, they're essentially gold. I mean, the fruits and vegetables are sought after, and they are valued, and they don't go to waste.
Yeah.
There's not too many instances in our diets here in America and even worldwide that we can ingest foods that are essentially the same way that nature provides them, even coming down to the fact that we can eat them raw. I mean, a lot of times slightly cooked is
essentially
good too, but
it's like nature's perfect delivery system. For instance, an apple. It's contained in that fiber shell. I never looked at it that way. That's a really nice illustration or visual. It's funny too. You were talking about the metabolism, and once an individual embarks on this journey, and it's a journey, it's a lifestyle, right? You would agree. I think once anyone embarks on it, now when they incorporate their New Year's resolution, or they want to get ready for a photo shoot or a graduation or the big class reunion, an effective exercise program does what? It accelerates the progress, and thus they achieve their goals that much faster. I think it's a win-win-win. I think it's a perceptual thing. We're so conditioned, so programmed, and M3 really cracks the code and, in a sense, reprograms the biocomputer, both mentally and physically, to unlock all this potential that's been latent within. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I love this stuff. I love it, I tell you.
Hey, that's awesome. We're right there too with that passion. And just real quick to say that the way you two and I were just sort of talking about that nature's beautiful package. Greg and I know you do as well, Bobby, we see this in our clients. We see like this beautiful package that they could be, and this potential to have this wonderful muscle tone and the muscle conditioning and the energy they could have. So it's like we're so passionate to try to work to get that out of them, because and we need to do that with the foods. The foods are there to make sure that happens within them.
Yeah.
So we that's why we have to integrate these teaching, these methods, and these frameworks to make that happen for those people.
Well, it's like anything else, Miles. We if we can embody and envision and walk the walk, right? Not just talk the talk. But if you there's no better advertisement than actually embodying the process. So, as I know for certain, I get folks that'll say, wow, what are you doing? And it's just the perfect segue into saying, well, it's simple. What it costs in terms of preparation and getting used to maybe a big plate of X or Y. The benefits so far outweigh that, and that's a perfect lead-in to say, here, give it a try. And it's not just theory; it's not just conjecture. So, outstanding, guys.
Yeah,
outstanding.
Yeah. Want to improve your energy, your outlook, and your overall output and performance as you get older. People think it's so normal for your body fat levels to increase, your athletic performance to decrease. It's normal, but it's common, but it's not normal. I should say it's very common, but it's not normal.
No,
we're trying to share the ways that we've evolved to, the trial and error that we've been through to find our recipes and our paths to success and what it is that we've tried to do.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's so true that, we talked about the incorporating the dietary fibers and the 3 reasons to get that, the main reason I talked about, to get those fibers into your daily routine. Because it avoids your pain of your heartburn. It helps to avoid the pain of the bad digestion, the constipation, and all these different issues that go on through our poor digestive tract. We want to have a healthy digestive tract. But like you said, Greg, it's like increase performance, enhance, stand at the top, feel like you're your best self. Because you've been doing these things and incorporating the foods, and then making the fitness routine just keep getting better and better, because you're getting that much more nutrition and that much more healthier digestion.
Yeah, what's funny is
Bobby says,
what does Bobby say? Tell him.
Like Bobby Stein says, like fine wine. I mean, here you are, 57. You've been
easy.
Competing and killing it. Well, you said that last podcast. That's why I just mentioned.
Oh man, I can't.
You said it last time.
I don't want that getting out there. I said that. Shame on me. It's funny.
You said it last time, man. That's the only reason. Anyways, I mean, here you are. Every year you compete. Seems you bring home the top place, and here you are now. You could go out and do it again, and you probably will, but you're going to do it with a whole different approach, and you're going to do it with a plant-based diet. And before we shut it down for the next week here, I just want to ask you, Bob, because independent of me and Miles and I here, before we even began this series podcast, you and your wife began eating a plant-based diet almost exclusively, I think.
Yeah.
What was the reason for that?
That's a good question. My wife, we have 3 daughters. We have 3 daughters, and the youngest has been vegan for, I want to say 15, she's 33, 15, 18 years and exclusively. And she's a real activist. And, whenever we would go up to the Northeast to visit our daughter Jenna, we'd visit, we'd adhere to her lifestyle out of respect to that. And my nephew has also been a vegan for about the same amount of time. And we thought to ourselves, you know what, there's no real slack off, or there's no real drop off. In fact, it's a little bit different tasting some of the things, but it's just an acclimation process. So we said, let's give it a try. And we would always dabble, Greg. We would just kind of dabble with it. And it came to the point where, Sherry, my wife, she says to me, it's not like we're 23 years old and can eat anything and burn it off. We can't eat that boxed convenience food. We can't eat the sugary drinks and all this. We just don't have the flat belly for it and stuff. So we were really mindful, and we said, let's give it a try. And so we did. And I'll tell you, we never looked back. And then, as fate would have it, right, serendipitously, the opportunity came to host this podcast, the Fit Diet podcast. And, I've been the lucky beneficiary. Now, she'll come home this evening and she'll have a trunk full of fresh vegetables, and she'll have a home for each one of those suckers. I mean, there's nothing going to waste. And, she'll bake the sweet potatoes, and she'll make the all the specialty dishes. And there is no pause. I mean, I challenge anybody that comes into our home and sits down to a meal with us to to shoot holes in it because it's non-existent. The taste, the texture, and then of course not long after that that we decided to do that. And hear me out. I'm not a vegan per se of I love animals, but it was really a selfish thing, guys. It was really a lifestyle thing. I said, let me.
Wow.
For all these reasons that we're talking about, the digestion, the energy, the strength. My strength's going through the roof.
Yeah.
And I would defy anybody to come into our home and they would not know the difference. They would leave just, on fire to make a recipe, using different spices and different peppers and different. So it's a good question. I love it. We'll sample as much as you want to put on the table, right, Greg?
Well, yeah, yeah.
Come on down. The price is right.
Well, Sherry can sure put it together, and
she
can.
And
I've been able to enjoy that, and I think you even said back when you and your wife began this. I think you even outwardly said to me that your digestive tract was working better. I don't even think I asked you. I think you said it right away. You felt initially those benefits of digestion.
I'll scream that from the rooftops. I know it's not a pleasant topic, but anybody that listen, I'll say I'm as regular as the day is long. It's fantastic, and there's no issue with anything. It's I just highly encourage it.
It's important.
It is. It's huge, and. I surf the mindmusclememory.com webpage, and that's what makes this such a joy and a pleasure. If we can change one individual's thinking by virtue of the fact that they're walking down the road to have energy, there's a skip in their step, and somebody inquires to them, what is this, and they can point them to the plant-based scenario and get them involved. They're going to see similar results. There's no reason why they can't, and I would encourage them to do so.
Yep. Head over to mindmusclememory.com, get some education, and if you need further guidance, look one of your mentors up in the around the country, and they'll guide you through these initial steps.
Well worth it.
Yep.
Well worth it.
Sure.
Well, guys, it's been a blast as always. I look forward to next week's episode where we're going to dive in a little deeper and just touch. And I would just. There's nothing more to say. It's just it's that good. I don't want to sound like a zealot, but I really do. I have a lot of zeal for what's going on with it. And you guys are bringing it to the forefront, and I'm appreciative of that. And folks, do the same. Get over to mindmusclememory.com, the M3 program. This has been another episode of the Fit Diet Podcast. And until next time, this is Bobby Stein, your host, for Miles Betcha and Greg Rando, saying take good care, and thanks for listening.